Do you guys smell that? New makeup. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ashley. I'm so glad that you guys decided to hang out with me today. Today I'm super excited because we're gonna be testing out some new makeup. We got a new foundation from Profusion, we got a new primer from Hard Candy, we got a blush from Almay, we got e.l.f. eyeshadows, Milani brow stuff, all the goods. Okay, so we're gonna be doing a first impressions today, trying out some new stuff. And yeah, if you want to see that, then just keep on watching. And if you would like to be friends on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you back. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first product I have to test is these. It is the Milani brow pen. It's supposed to be like a dupe for the Glossier Brow Flick, but I hear people on YouTube rave about it. So I'm really interested to give this a shot. I've never tried a product like this, so I'm going to try to do my brows first just in case. I have the shade 140 Espresso. So this is what it looks like. It almost looks like a liquid eyeliner. And that's the shade right there. Looks like it will be good. It looks a little bit ashy, not too warm, which is a good thing because my hair is not super warm. I'm gonna brush up my brows first. I'm gonna start with this one. This is my good brow. The tip is very flimsy, so like the first couple of strokes that I did, it kind of bent, so they don't look like perfectly straight lines. So maybe just don't apply too much pressure. Why is my hand so shaky? I don't think that looks terrible. I feel like the end of my brow looks a little bit wonky, but let's do the other one and see if we can get it to look good. I feel like I'm just like dotting. So it's really liquidy and it is very pigmented. But I feel like the tip is a little bit hard to control. I think it's just one of those things that you're going to have to practice with. And you can easily like go in too hard and then the bottom's going to be really fat. And then it kind of tapers up. So you have to like apply the perfect amount of pressure. This brow is having some trouble, you guys. And the cap snaps on, so you probably want to make sure you really snap it so it doesn't dry out. Let's see if I can brush through them just to make these lines a little less harsh right here. Okay, so I obviously am going to have to practice with this a little bit more before I really get the hang of it. I don't think my brows look bad. I just think it's one of those things like practice is going to make perfect, because you need to apply the right amount of pressure or else you're going to like go in and it's going to be like thicker on the bottom and then lighter at the top. So it's not going to be like an even stroke, you know? So it's just, you have to be really careful with the amount of pressure that you apply. And also the tip is very, very bendy. I don't know if you can tell. So you don't want to press down too much or else it's going to like curve your line. You know, it's not going to be like a straight line. So you want to do really light pressure strokes that are like equal pressure. And I also feel like if you have a lot of area to fill in, like over here, this brow is very, very sparse because I overplucked it when I was little and it has pretty much like a non-existent tail. It's a little tricky to do it because the strokes can start like blending together and it can look a little bit muddy like mine does. So that is probably just user error, but it's just something to be aware of. It is going to be one of those things I think that is going to need like some trial and error. But I really like the color and hopefully it lasts a long time. That would be super, super awesome. I really hope that I can get the hang of it, because if I can perfect this, I think it'll make my brows look very natural and fluffy and just not too overdone, you know? The next thing I have to test is this Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer from Hard Candy. This has been viral on TikTok and going around YouTube. I don't know who first discovered it, but I heard about it from Juicy Jazz here on YouTube. She is one of my favorite YouTubers. I love her so much, and she swears by this, and she says it's a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, so it's supposed to make your makeup last really long because it grips onto it. But she says this one is more hydrating, which is perfect for me because I have very dry skin. So I wanted to give this a try. It says it is 12-hour makeup grip, plumps, moisturizes, and perfects. Hyaluronic acid and agave to help moisturize and grip makeup, helps to plump skin and to diminish the appearance of fine lines. Gripping formula helps to extend wear. So you get 1 ounce of product and it comes in a little squeezy tube. Ooh, it's kind of a light green minty color, so it does sort of look like the Milk Hydro Grip. I'm just going to take a little pea-size amount here and spread it over my skin. It definitely feels a little bit sticky to the touch, which is good because that means that it'll grip onto our foundation and help to extend the wear. I've already washed my skin, moisturized it, and applied sunscreen, and that was about an hour ago, so it's definitely sunk in by now. It sort of reminds me of the Mint e.l.f. gripping primer that I just tried recently in one of my recent videos testing out the Mint Melt collection from e.l.f. How many times did I say e.l.f. and mint? Anyway, it reminds me of the e.l.f. Mint gripping primer that they just came out with, in that the color is like minty too, but also the tacky texture. I will say the mint one from e.l.f. was more tacky, more sticky. This one's just like slightly tacky, but it feels really good, and it helped to kind of enhance that glow I have on my skin. Okay, so I think that's set down and we can go in with foundation. So for foundation, I do have a new one to test. It is the Profusion Feel Good Skin Foundation. I was really intrigued by this because it's a $7 foundation, but it was getting a lot of good feedback. It claims to be long wearing and like give good coverage, but it also is hydrating since it has hyaluronic acid in it. So I was intrigued, sign me up, something that can last a long time, but that hydrates my skin. I'm gonna check it out, okay? So it comes in like this really thin kind of squeezy tube. I've never seen anything like it. I really like it though because I feel like for traveling it would be very convenient. It's very lightweight, and you do get the standard actually get 1.01 fluid ounces, so a smidge more. And it's just a little squeezy tube. I have the shade Fair One Warm Yellow. So it looks like it's not super runny. And I have a wet beauty blender here, so maybe I'll do like brush on one half and then beauty blender on the other. Just spread it around my face. Oh, I think the color is going to be good. It does have a fragrance. It's kind of florally, but nothing too overpowering. Yeah, that gives pretty good coverage. I would say it's like a light medium coverage. You can still see some of my hyperpigmentation and my like beauty marks shining through, but most of my redness, pretty much all of my redness, is canceled out. No, I really like that. Okay, let's try the brush. So I think it looks a little bit more dewy on the sponge side, so that's the one I prefer. And the brush was fine. I just feel like it looked a little bit thicker and it was a little bit harder for me to blend out. So I think I need a little bit more coverage right around my nose area, so I'm going to go back in with my sponge and build it up a little bit. Okay, so overall I really like the coverage and I like the match to my skin. I think it's a pretty good shade match. It feels very lightweight, but I will say on the side that I applied with the brush, I was looking closer in my mirror and it did look a little bit texture enhancing on my forehead, which is one of my driest areas. And it has already kind of sunk a little bit into my smile lines, which it says it's not supposed to exaggerate fine lines, so I don't know. But yeah, overall it looks pretty good so far. It's a nice skin-like finish. It's not super dewy like the Flower Beauty Serum Foundation. It's not that dewy, but it's not matte either. It's probably like a good satin finish. You can still see some sheen on my skin. It looks really pretty. It might look a little bit heavy on my cheek area and on my forehead. So I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so I don't have a new concealer to try, so I'm just gonna go in with an old one, and I'm also gonna apply a bronzer because I don't have a new one to try either, so I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I just applied my bronzer. I also applied my highlight, and I applied some concealer under my eyes and on my eyelids. So next, to finish up the complexion, we're gonna go in with I don't know how I did that. It is the Almay Healthy Hue Blush. Now this is supposed to be very glowy, so I am really excited because I love a glowy blush, and it's this beautiful, pretty peachy color. I'm gonna take it on a stippling brush because I don't know how pigmented it is, and I don't want to go in too heavy. Just gonna lightly stipple that onto my cheeks. Yeah, I think I can put a little bit more on there. Ooh, that's such a pretty color. And it is glowy. But it's not like a highlighter or anything. Just looks very natural and luminous and radiant. Dusting it a little bit over where I applied highlighter and bronzer as well, just so everything looks cohesive. Tip of the nose. Wow, I think that's really beautiful. It's not overkill. It's not like you put a highlighter on your cheek, but it definitely has a little bit of radiance, and the color is very pretty. I think it's more buildable, actually. It looks very vibrant in the pan, so I was a little bit afraid, but if you go in with a stippling brush like I did, it's not super pigmented, but you can build it up to get more of a vibrant effect, which I like. So I usually don't set my face with powder, so if I'm going to apply bronzer and blush on top of it, sometimes if it's too pigmented, it'll just stick to the first spot that I applied it to, because I don't have like a powder base to blend it out on. So I like something that's a little bit more light and it can be easily diffused, if that makes sense. So I really like this one so far. I'm excited to keep playing with it. Okay, and then lastly, to finish up the eyes, I'm just gonna actually take that same blush on a fluffy brush and pop it into my crease, because I'm gonna be going in with some smaller eyeshadows and not necessarily a palette that has a transition shade. I like to do this because I feel like it just makes your whole look more cohesive. Alright, the next one I have is this e.l.f. Duo eyeshadow. I think this was in their holiday collection, and it's the purple tone one. So you have this really pretty purple, it looks like a satin finish almost. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, at least in the pan, in a more lilac, lavendery, purple shimmer color. And I am going to take a flat brush, wet DZ brush. Wow, that's really pretty. Very shimmery. It's not super chunky glitter, but very refined and beautiful and sophisticated looking, I think. So it's pretty with the finger, but I actually feel like it's more reflective with the brush. Yeah, so I really like that. I think it was really easy to apply. It wasn't super chalky and crumbly like their mint eyeshadow palette. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below. That one was just super like crumbly and chalky and disgusting. This one I feel like is actually really pretty. If you apply it with a damp brush, you get a very beautiful sheen. It's not super glittery, and I really like it. It has more of a pinky undertone. Okay, and then for the outer corner, I'm going to take the deeper purpley color. I think that's really pretty. It is not super dark or like vibrant, I guess, but it has a good amount of color and you can build it up easily just like the shimmer. So yeah, I really like this duo. I think it's really cute and just simple for like a quick easy eye look like this. You can pop some bronzer, some blush in the crease, shimmer all over the lid, and the darker shade on the outer corner. Super easy, don't have to think about it, and really good quality e.l.f. shadows, so 2 thumbs up for this one. And just taking my blush and blending the edges a little bit more. How soft and ethereal everything is looking. So that's everything I have to test out. I'm just going to apply some eyeliner, some mascara, and some lips, and then we'll come back and talk about everything that we tried. Okay guys, so I just finished up the rest of my makeup. I really like how everything turned out. I think everything looks nice and dewy and fresh and everyday, so I'm living for it right now. I love it, and it matches my shirt. So happy. So starting off with the Milani Weekend Brow, I really like this product. I like the shade. I think it's a good color match. It's not too warm, which a lot of drugstores can be. And yeah, I think it's one of those things that you have to practice to get better at, because right off the bat it's a little bit tricky to use. The primer, I'm gonna have to keep testing it and see if it actually prolongs the wear of my foundation, but first impressions, I like the texture. It feels really good on the skin. It's not uncomfortable. It doesn't feel heavy. The foundation is nice. I don't know if it's going to be like my new holy grail. It looked a little bit texture enhancing and not as like smoothing as I would have liked it to be, but for $7 it seems pretty good. It gave a good medium coverage and it looks very skin-like. It doesn't feel heavy or cakey at all. So I'll put a little note in the description box how it wears, and we'll see. I'll keep testing it out, and I really like the shade match as well. The blush is very, very beautiful. I think the color is perfect. It just looks like you're glowing from within. It's not a highlighter on your cheeks, which a lot of glowy blushes can be. It's really easy to build up and to blend out. And the eyeshadows are really good as well. It's a simple, like, just duo eyeshadow pan, but I think for like a quick everyday look, this is perfect. The shimmers are nice and smooth and pigmented and reflective, and the satin shade, I guess, is nice and pigmented, not patchy, easy to work with, easy to build up. So yeah, this is a 2 thumbs up for me as well. And yeah, that's everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you would like to be friends here on YouTube, then please subscribe. It would mean so much to me. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.